All right, we're working on the XLT today in the garage. We got a couple projects. We're gonna do heated grips and a tether. Both of these are the cheapest aftermarket ones I could find. The grips are Max parts. I believe I got from Royal Distributing. And then this I think I got on eBay or Wish, don't remember. It's the mount with the handlebar attachment. So I'm actually thinking, yep, thought that was gonna happen. I'm gonna have to figure out this because this thing's way too tight. It kept feeling like it was gonna not really come off unless you pull the snot out of it. So as you can see, that didn't work. So we'll have to figure something else out for that. Probably went a little too cheap on this, but we'll try to make it work. We'll probably shave some plastic out of there. Try to get it a little bit looser because that's way too tight at the moment. But anyways, first thing we're gonna do is the grips. So get yourself a heat gun, warm those up, get your flathead screwdriver, work it in there. If yours has the ends on it like these, if it has something like that on the end where you can't get your screwdriver in the side, yeah, you're gonna have a little tougher time. You'll just have to really keep twisting at it. If you're gonna buy new grips, you could go ahead and cut them like I did. Work it off with the heat gun, some prying. Take your old ones off if it has them, if they're broken or whatever. I ended up cutting mine when I was doing the wind guards, and that's why they no longer work. But now that I'm scrapping the wind guards, I actually want to get some hot hands again. So we have 3 wires here. Your 2 blue wires, I believe, are your high and low, and your red wire is your ground. The new ones come with only 2 wires, so we're going to hook it up both on high, basically, because I don't feel like installing their little kit. So they also have high and low, but what they do is they have a resistor. So when you go on low, it resists the amount of electricity, you know, causes less juice to flow, less heat is produced. But I don't know why I would want semi cold hands. I like hot hands, so we're just gonna do high or off. We're gonna skip the low. So we don't need that. All we need is these. We got our 2 wires. We'll do both blues to one and orange to the other, or sorry, brown to the other. And that's how we're gonna solder that up. So I'll show you that in a minute. So because I have my throttle cable jimmy rigged with this wire tie, because I got issues down here and don't feel like dinking around trying to get this aftermarket throttle anymore correctly set up, I'm doing this instead, which is work. So I'm not going to take that off because it was a pain in the butt to get on there. It's like basically a small piece of rubber hose with the zip tie wrapped around it. So I'm just going to pop this guy off, take a flathead screwdriver, and there's a little retaining clip in there. And then you can pop this out. And then this should allow you to open up your throttle block without undoing your thumb throttle, or without removing the cable. But if you have a correctly set up throttle, I wouldn't do what I'm doing. I would just pull that out first. I'm just gonna let that hang there. So take those 2 out. All right, don't do what I just did and snap it open. I forgot there's screws back there. Take your screws out. As you can see, plastic gets very brittle in the cold. Another one down there. If you get some slack in your cable, you can just rotate it around to try to get to that guy. Thankfully where it broke, I don't think it toasted my throttle block, but obviously that was a silly mistake. Should have remembered there were screws back there. Now double check if you've gotten all your screws out, unlike I just did. And then you can pry her open. Oh, there's a fourth one. It's hiding under there. Yeah, there should be 4 screws in the back of here. Four screws on the 4 corners. So once you've rounded off the Phillips threads to never work well again, then you can slide it off. Okay, so just want to give you the wiring help if you are wondering where all this stuff goes. So you got your brown and black 2 coming in here. Those go to your kill switch, and then they go to your 2 throttle safety switches. One in here, and one, oh, there you can see the little throttle doorbell I put on there. Just to give me a little more tightness in my cable without messing with the carbs. Anyways, now that that came off, this is what you would normally do if you just pop that off first. So thumb warmer. Anyways, let me start over. So brown and black, go to kill switch, and then your 2 throttle safety switches. One right there, you can see, and then one right here. And I've been having issues with mine, so I'm actually going to delete them. I'll show you that. But if yours are still working properly and you want to use them or replace them, that's the wiring. It all connects to this. Then your hand warmers are these 3, 2 blues and a brown. And those come into the middle here, right here. The thumb warmer is this guy. Yep. So the thumb warmer is separate, not coming out of here, but it does splice into this. So as you can see, there's 5 coming in, 3 out here, and then 2, or sorry, actually, yeah, 2 wrap around to this, and then you have a third. Looks like an extra ground coming in from down here. So thumb warmer, hand warmer, kill switch, and throttle safety switches. So that's your wiring setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete the 2 throttle safety switches. We're going to install the hand warmer, and we're going to get the kill switch spliced on to this system. So let's work on killing the throttle safety switches first. To remove your throttle safety switch, hopefully you can see it. There's a screw right inside there holding it in. The same thing over there. So it's kind of hard to get your screwdriver in there, but might have to get a stubbier one. If you can't figure out the angle, but take those screws out. Once you pop the screw out, your switch will come out and look like that. And then you can do the same for the other one. You rotate this guy around until you have that opening. It'll give you some room to get your screwdriver in there. So I'm not an electronic wizard, so I'm just gonna do what other people have said, which is snip them off and hope it works. I'll let you know. You'll find out. So I'm gonna give myself some room in case I want to splice it back together at some point. So I'm gonna snip here in the middle, and then here in the middle. Leave that, and then if I ever want to hook that back on, I can. So I'm just gonna run it like that. I'll put some tape around those and see if that works. If that doesn't, then yeah, you'll know. Don't copy me and I'll have to figure something else out, but I'm gonna install that back just like that. Just put a bit of tape so we don't get any shorts if they happen to come in contact with another wire. Alright, so we're just going to throw that back in there. Like so. Leave those guys hanging down. Just kind of tuck them out of the way. Alright, so that is that. Obviously do this at your own risk. Your throttle safety switch is a good idea. I am installing a tether. Want to have a safety backup, but your throttle safety switches are giving you problems. And you do this deletion, I would go ahead and get yourself a tether so that you still have a kill switch should you fall off the sled. Because you definitely don't want your sled full throttle running you over. It can be pretty ugly. So that. Alright, so now we're just going to put this guy back together. Alright, so now for your hand grips, your heated hand grips. What I would do is, after you snip off the old ones, just to give yourself as much room as possible to do your soldering, take some needle nose vice grips, kind of slide it with as much room as you can, and then just kind of clamp it lightly. You don't want to smush your wires too much, but just hang it like that, and that'll give you a little more space there. Get your soldering done. Then you're going to take your wire stripper, strip them, and we'll try 16 gauge. I'm not actually sure what gauge they are. That was a little too thick. Try 18. Alright, looks like 18. Or 16. Yeah, I didn't get it all, so I'll go with 18. Alright. So you got them stripped. Solder those babies up. Some flux. Also gonna need your strip, the ones that are going on. Definitely don't need this much wire. Snip those. These look also like 18s. Try 16 though. Nah, 16 worked well on those. Put your heat shrinky on. Oh yeah, we are gonna want one big one because I just remembered we're doing 2 to 1, so let's do 2 little and 1 bigger one. Alright, let's throw those on. Flex these up. Twist them if you want. Depends how you do your soldering, whether you do the old jam them together or twist them together. I typically like to jam them. So 2 blues going into 1 and then the brown into 1. Kind of need 14 hands for this, but let's see what we can do. Try to put that somewhere it's not gonna melt. Something. That'd be really nice to be like a rubber band holding that on there right now. That would be nice. All right, see if we can get that to hold. All right, so there's the solder job with heat shrink over it. 2 blue to 1 black, 1 brown or orange, whatever you want to call that, to 1 black. And you shove them in there nice and neat. And pulling the wire on the other end to get them to shove through. Take a little finagling, but work it nice and slow. Okay, and then you want it like pretty much right there. Then slide your whole deal over. Yeah, and then you're just gonna peel off the sticky back, stick that on there like that, and then whatever grip you're putting back on, whether it's the original or in my case, I got some new ones. And stick these over the top, so pretty simple. Let's make sure this is clean. Hit that with some sandpaper or Brillo pad or something to clean it up if you got junk on there like I do. Sticky residue and rust and whatever else. I'll do a little at a time so we don't mess the whole thing up. Try to think about where you want it when you're riding your throttle block, that is. And if you got the right size, it'll meet up nice and neat like that. Then you can just go ahead and slip your grip on. Here's a tip if you're having trouble getting your grip on. If you have an air compressor and a little nozzle gun like this, just stick it under there. Give it some air while you're sliding it on. And obviously you want to try to get the air back here. There you go. Once you see it, once it's expanding like that, that's what you want to see. Anyways, that helps a lot, so that's the way to do it. Making this cheap piece of junk usable. Big issue is just how tight it is to get off of there. So we're just gonna open this up a little bit more by trying to get some of this plastic out of here. I'm just using this file. You could probably use an X-Acto knife, whatever you have on hand. Demographics, music tastes, and more. 3. Set your budget, set your dates, and you're done. Try it today at adstudio.spotify.com or tap the band to learn more. Just kind of gonna do a little bit, try it, do a little bit, try it, trial and error. see it's still too hard, so let's keep taking material off until you think it's good. All right, I think it's quite a bit better now. That's a lot better. So what I did last was I actually just took this 5-in-1 painter tool. You could take a knife, but this worked really good. Just kind of paired it around there almost like a fruit. Just kind of take that first little lip off, and now it's a lot easier to get off. So I think it's ready to go. I'm just gonna install this crimper back on there since I busted it off. Alrighty, we'll install that then. We're just gonna put it on the bar facing the rider. Then we're gonna splice on here, so whatever side you want to put it on, doesn't matter. It just kind of depends on where you got some room.
It came from someone inside the CIA, and the story was that the agency had written one of the best-selling rock songs of all time, a song that changed the world. So that was the tip that started me on this story, and it only got crazier from there. Listen to Wind of Change, a new original series from Pineapple Street Studios, Crooked Media, and Spotify.
Step out your door, look to the trees just to the left, and you'll see a bright planet SUV. We're not gonna turn it on, but we'll test the falling off. Schwank! Waboosh, waboosh, waboosh. Whoa! It's kind of nice how it shoots you in the face. That's fun. Not only are you getting whacked by sticks or whatever else you might be biffing on top of, but this thing will whack you in the teeth too. Schwab! Oh! Yeah, hopefully it doesn't rip off your jacket. I don't think I want this thing anywhere near my teeth. Schwab. Boink! Oh! Baby, that felt good. Yeah, these are really, really nice. You betcha. Splice it into this right here. Brown should be ground, black should be hot. Don't know if it matters, but clearly your green would be ground and your red would be hot on this. But since we're just doing a simple closed circuit, I don't think it matters. But anyways, that's where we're gonna do our splice at. All right, so I made a mistake. I first thought I was gonna splice into these two. So basically you would have kind of 3 connected and then these 3. That's a mistake because that would allow the sled to keep running if only one got disconnected, whether the kill switch or this one, because I'm not planning to delete this. Obviously I'm talking about this kill switch here with the tether. What I actually want is that when either one disconnects, the thing kills. So in order to do that, I actually just need to do red into black and green into black. So basically take the black, chop it in half, and then do this number And so that means that comes off. This is not, the circuit is not completed from this line, and so that kills. Or if this is tether still on, but I hit this, because this is here, it still functions. So anyways, hope that makes sense. So the mistake was cutting the brown one at all. You don't need to cut that one at all. Just go red to black and green to black after you cut the black in half. So I'll show you that when I'm all done, but I gotta put these put the brown back together and pretend I never cut it. So there you go. Black, red, black, green. So the black wire used to be there. Snip, red and green to the tether. This should still work. I mean, this should now work. This should work independent of each other. One comes off, should kill the sled. Both are attached, sled's running. No need to cut this brown, I already mentioned that. So I spliced that back, or soldered that back together. Anyways, that's how she should look when you're done. I'm just gonna put a wire tie, a few different places, maybe some electrical tape, clean it up a bit, and then we'll put the throttle back together and time to give her a test rip. All right, so here's the final product. Hand grips work. You'll have to trust me on that since you can't feel it, but I'll show you how the kill switch works. So it's either, they both gotta be working in tandem. If you just pull that off, but this is still up, it's gonna keep running. So this has to be, you basically have to kill them both at the same time. That's kind of how they work. So they gotta work in tandem together. So when you're riding in the powder and whatever, and you wanna have this operating as a kill, you would turn that off first. And basically you can start it, you know, with only one of them engaged and it'll still work. But as soon as I pull that, now it kills it. So likewise, if this is off, but that's on. So if you wanted to ride without the kill switch, you wouldn't even need this. It's still a functional kill button. So that's pretty nice. Anyways, that's how that works.